Yeah, this is the Devops mock interview day 61. We have already completed 60 mock interviews. We are watching this video on YouTube, right? If you want to watch all mock interviews, definitely go and check the latest videos, or you can go to playlist section as well. So Devops, please introduce yourself and please like this video so that we will get motivation to upload more videos.
Yes, yeah, my name is Devops, DevOps engineer, with 5 years of experience in the industry, and my expertise spans in several critical areas like modern software development and operations. I am a proficient in the version control using Git, and I have a hands-on experience with the continuous integration through a Jenkins. In terms of configuration management, I utilize Ansible and my skills also include containerization with a Docker and orchestration tools like Kubernetes, enabling efficient deployment and scaling up applications. For monitoring and logging, I rely on a Grafana to ensure the system performance and reliability. Additionally, I leverage infrastructure as a code tool such as a Terraform to automate and manage infrastructure development and effectively. This is my self.
Oh, okay, you are perfect and your
Yes.
introduction was smooth and yeah, still if you practice right, practice make
Yeah.
man perfect. So definitely you will get
Yes,
more
sir.
opportunity. You are getting any calls? I think this is the November and December month, right? So do you getting any calls?
Yes, sir. Actually, I got a call today, but I was not pick the call. Why? Because of
Okay,
some disturbance here, and
okay,
tomorrow I'll call to them. Actually,
okay,
I'm in native, so that's the reason.
okay, no issues. How was your Diwali?
Yeah, it's nice, sir. What about yours?
Yeah, yeah, it was great.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, shall we start the mock interview?
Oh, yeah.
I will share my screen so that you can able to see
Yes.
the questions. It is little bit confusing. Okay, it's not
Okay,
straightforward.
okay.
Okay, you need to automate the deployment of microservice application, right? To a Kubernetes cluster
Mm.
using Jenkins. How would you set this up? So you need to automate the microservice application. Developer was written the microservice application code, right?
Mm.
You need to automate the deployment of microservice application, right, to a Kubernetes cluster that too using Jenkins. So how would you set this up using Jenkins?
Yeah, using the Jenkins, we can create declarative pipelines in
Super.
Jenkins. So in that, we can create like a particular stages. So in that we can give the separate stages.
Yeah, you are
Mm.
right.
Yes.
Okay. How would you provision an AWS EC2 instance? Just a moment, someone is joining.
Initiatives.
Yeah. How would you provision an EC2 AWS EC2 instance and configure it using Terraform for a web application deployment?
We can provision EC2 instances through the Terraform. We can use a modular and state TF files. So like that we can configure through the Terraform.
Oh, super, you are right. But what is the provider you will use?
The provider is AWS.
Yes. So you need to
Uh,
mention that. You need to explain. Okay.
okay,
If I
okay.
am asking you like you, how would you provision an AWS EC2 instance?
Mm,
So as you mentioned, yeah, I will. I'm going to write a TF files, Terraform declarative language. So in that,
yes,
first I will define a provider. Then after I will write a resource block for provisioning an EC2 instance. So like this, you need to explain so that opposite person, okay. It is like this mock interview will be a practice for you.
yes, sir.
So you need to explain. It DevOps is not straightforward answers. If someone is asking you, you need to explain throughout whatever you know. So how
Yes,
would you provision EC2 instance and configure it using Terraform for a web application deployment? So if I am asking you, you need to explain the all things. Using Terraform, I
yes.
will do it. It's not a good, right? I know that.
Mm.
Okay, how would you configure a Jenkins pipeline to use Ansible for deploying a new application version to a fleet of web servers? Here, indirectly, I'm asking. There are a bunch of servers are there. In that servers, using Ansible, I need to deploy some new application versions. Okay, how you will do that? How would you configure a Jenkins pipeline to
We
use
can
Jenkins?
we can write the inventory files. We can write the inventory files in Jenkins pipelines. Uh, Through the inventory, we can configure the Ansible.
No, you are wrong. You will write inventory file and you will configure Ansible. It's wrong. In
Through the
Jenkins,
Ansible only, we can write.
yes, using Ansible, why I want to deploy an application, right? For deploying application, inventory will not get into the play. Inventory will help us to communicate with the servers. If I want to deploy a new application version, their inventory doesn't.
Mm,
It's a just a basic thing inventory. Okay,
okay.
without inventory, Ansible will not work. The my question is deploying a new version using Jenkins. You need to relate Ansible with Jenkins. You
No,
are
sir, I don't.
telling inventory. So first of all, you need to install Ansible plugin. You need to configure Ansible, right? You need to write a different stages for Ansible. Like that, you can call your Ansible playbooks. Like this, you need
Okay,
to
sir.
explain. These are the simple things. Okay, how would you set up application monitoring using Prometheus and visualize the data in Grafana? How would you set up application monitoring using Prometheus and visualize the data in Grafana? Yeah, Aniseti, you can try if you know.
Yeah, we use a Prometheus and we check on metrics and Grafana we will check on dashboards.
Yes, you are right. But still, you can explain. You are repeating the question. Visualize is nothing but a dashboard itself. I'm asking you how you will set up.
Yeah,
Simple.
yeah.
First, I will
We
take a
install
server. In that server, I will first install
server. We
Prometheus.
install in Prometheus. Yeah, and Grafana also.
You need to explain that. Okay, I will go
Yeah.
to next question. How would you set up a blue-green deployment strategy for a web application using Docker and Nginx as a reverse proxy? How would you set up a blue-green deployment strategy for a web application using Nginx and a reverse proxy? Reverse proxy. Do you know what is blue-green deployment? Can you able to explain that?
Yes, sir. Blue-green deployment is like it's a version we can use, so we
This
can
one
set.
already I've explained in the previous mocks clearly, so you can explain.
We can set up a blue-green deployment of application using uh, server proxy. Those general steps. It's like a new version and upgrade version, sir. So deploying new blue-green version, we can use application in the same infrastructure separate environment, like EC2 instance and Docker container. We can isolate the traffic.
Okay, Aniseti, you want to add something?
No.
We
Okay.
can gradually roll back.
So yeah, blue green deployment is nothing but we will maintain two environments. One environment you will get the traffic, and another environment you will work on the new updates. Like for suppose if I'm working on version 1, okay, consider blue as a version 1 and green as a version 2. So the traffic will come to the blue, right? I will use a load balancer. So that's the reason Nginx help us to set up this load balancer. Okay. So I will use load balancer so that my traffic will go to the my web application via this two environments. So coming to setup, yeah, whenever user hit the URL in the browser, in the backend, the request will go to load balancer. From via load balancer, it will go to the blue or green environment, whichever we have set up via load balancer. The traffic will go to the particular environment. Okay, why we are maintaining is to because in some disaster cases, if something happens, right, we can shift the traffic to another environment because other environment will be a working state. Okay, like that from one environment you can send the traffic to another environment. Like that you can version, as you mentioned, you we can work on updated versions as well. Like for suppose I want to upgrade my whatever way I've deployed the application, I want to update it to the newer version. Like for suppose, just imagine I'm running a WhatsApp. Now I want to update the WhatsApp version. I want to enable a, right, what I need to do, I need to enable a reactions to the charts. So for that, what I will do, I will set this up in the another environment. So once it is working perfectly, then I will route the traffic to that particular environment. Okay. How would you set up a GitLab CI/CD pipeline to automate testing and deployment of a Node.js application? So GitLab CI/CD pipeline is nothing but it will be in YAML format. Same like in Jenkins, you will write a declarative manifest file. In GitLab, you will write a YAML files. Steps will be same. It will be in YAML syntax. That's it. How would you use Helm to package and deploy application on Kubernetes cluster? How would you use Helm to package and deploy an application on a Kubernetes cluster? Okay, you can try at least. How do you use Nexus as an artifact repository to store and manage build artifacts for a Java Maven project? How do you use Nexus as an artifact repository to store and manage build artifacts for a Java Maven project?
So
Okay,
to store the manage and build the artifacts Java and Maven, we can use the repository manager. So like that, both tools we are using artifact storage and store the provisioning like CI/CD pipeline. So using a Nexus repository manager, we can set up the repository manager. If you take the Docker means, so we can run the Docker run. Port is 8081. So like that we can execute the Sonar.
no, I didn't get whatever you said. It's okay. Let's check the answer. Describe how would you handle database schema migrations using Flyway in a CI/CD pipeline. Database migration, how we will manage via pipeline. How would you set up load testing for a web application using JMeter in a Jenkins pipeline? Simple, you will create a declarative pipeline and you will add a stage for testing, right? Like that you will do. But here I'm just confusing you how you will do the testing and all. I'm not asking you directly how you will test the application. Rather, I'm confusing you with how you will do set up load testing for web application that to using JMeter. JMeter is a tool in Jenkins pipeline. So I just confusing you. In the interview also they will try to confuse you with adding new tools. Okay. For everything in Jenkins, you need to do what you will do simple. You will create a stage for that particular thing. You will execute it. For testing, yeah, there will be some command for testing. I will execute that right command via a stage. Like that, I can able to do it. In the interview, if they ask, you can explain the same. Whenever they ask anything, how you will do it using Jenkins pipeline. Simple answer, yeah, I will use declarative pipeline. There I will write some stages. Inside stages, I will trigger some commands. So like that, I will set up. At least you can try to explain. Okay, shall we check the answers?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so first question was you need to deploy a microservice application with separate services. Okay, for authentication, API and frontend, how would you set up? It's which one? It's 61, right? Sorry, it's my bad. Yeah, first question will be you need to automate the deployment of a microservice application to a Kubernetes cluster using Jenkins. How would you set this up? So by configuring a Jenkins pipeline, we can automate the build, test, and deployment steps. Here, Jenkins will deploy Dockerized application to Kubernetes using kubectl command. So pipeline agent environment, I will give the kubeconfig credentials if required. Okay, first I will build the image. In the steps stage, I will take one stage as build, Docker build. Then after I will push that image to Docker Hub. Okay, I will provide the credentials of my Docker Hub. Then after, for if I want to deploy the Kubernetes, I will use the credentials and I will execute kubectl apply, or I can use Argo CD as well. But here did I mention Argo CD? No. So using Jenkins, I want to deploy into the Kubernetes. So then I can add a stage, right? There will be multiple ways. So this is the expected output. Okay, how would you provision an AWS EC2 instance and configure it using Terraform for a web application deployment? Terraform can manage infrastructure with code, making it ideal for reproducible environment. Here we will create an EC2 instance and attach a security group to allow HTTP traffic. Right, first I will define the provider, AWS resource, AWS underscore instance. Right, if I want a security group, definitely I can able to create a security group. If I want to display the output, I can write the output as well. So this is the output. Okay, how would you configure a Jenkins pipeline to use Ansible for deploying a new application version to feed the web server? So here I will write an Ansible playbook, right? That's what I said, but you are telling inventory and all. These steps involve Jenkins running an Ansible playbook that pulls the latest application version to each web server and restore the application service. Okay, tasks name. I'm downloading some repository. I'm copying that application to a particular destination. Then I will restart a particular service. So in the pipeline, I will call a Ansible playbook, right? Stage, steps, I can write the Ansible playbook, right? Inventory file. How would you set up application monitoring using Prometheus and visualize the data in Grafana? Okay, deploy Prometheus to scrape metrics from a Kubernetes cluster and Grafana to visualize this metrics, providing insights you right Prometheus.yml. In the Prometheus.yml, what I will do, I will provide the node exporter, right? First, I need to have a node exporter. There, I will define the URL. First, I need to install Prometheus. I can install Prometheus via Helm, or I can install Prometheus manually, or I can install Prometheus via some deployment files. So there will be multiple methods. Whatever the method you know, you can explain. We already discussed the monitoring part. You can check out that recording. How would you set up a blue-green deployment strategy for a web application using Docker and Nginx as a reverse proxy? Using Nginx as a reverse proxy, route traffic between two identical environments. That's what I said, right? Nginx is used for blue and green. In this setup, blue runs on current version, green works on new version. So this is the configuration file of Nginx. Okay, I can create the container for our identification as blue app, green app, just to identify whether it is a blue rated container or green rated container. Okay, GitLab CI/CD. So I told you right, same. You will be having stages, right? Build, test, deploy, three stages. First stage build, it will download the dependencies, it will test the code, okay, and it will deploy. Here they are using scp command. Using scp command, they are copying. How would you use Helm to package and deploy an application on Kubernetes cluster? Then you can explain at least. Helm is nothing but a package manager. How we have apt same like Helm is a package manager for Kubernetes. Simplifies deployment by templating configuration after Kubernetes configuration. Here we will define a Helm chart to deploy a sample web application. Okay. In the Helm chart, you will define the values.yml file and you will define the values. And Helm install, using Helm install, you can able to call that values.yml file. How do you use Nexus as an artifact repository to store and manage build artifacts for Java Maven project? Nexus helps managing dependencies and build artifacts, making it ideal for Java-based projects. We will configure Maven to push artifacts to Nexus after a successful build. In the pom.xml, you will define the Nexus URL, right? You will define the Nexus URL. Via that, it will get to know where next it will go to the Nexus and it will upload that artifacts. Using mvn deploy, it will go and upload the artifacts to the Nexus server. But how Maven will know? First, that you need to configure that credentials, the server URL and all. Okay, describe how would you handle database schema migration using Fly in CI/CD pipeline.
Hello, you are not audible, sir.
Sorry, am I audible?
Yes, yes, you're audible.
Okay. Yeah, DevOps, there is an issue from your side. How would you set up a load testing for a web application using JMeter and Jenkins pipeline? So what is load testing will do? Load testing help determine an application's behavior under peak load conditions. We will use JMeter to simulate the multiple users and monitor the application response time. So pipeline agent stages, I told you right, load test, you will just call a command and you will publish the report. Okay, summary of all 10 scenarios. Which one we have discussed, right? Kubernetes deployment automation with Jenkins, AWS infrastructure setup with Terraform, application deployment using Ansible, monitoring with Prometheus, blue-green deployment with Nginx, CI/CD automation with GitLab, application packaging and deployment with Helm, artifact management with Nexus, database migration with Flyway, load testing with JMeter. Okay, all these things are most repeated questions in every interview. Definitely, without these questions, there will be no interview. Okay, they will ask about Nexus, they will ask about Helm, they will ask about, they will not ask about GitLab, Docker, right? Prometheus, Grafana, Ansible, Terraform, Jenkins, how you will test, like that, they will ask. Okay, yeah, if anyone watching this video on YouTube, if you are looking for real-time training, definitely you can ping. We are going to start a new batch in DevOps. Yeah, Aniseti, can you please introduce yourself? You joined late, right? So yeah, Rani,
Hello, I'm Anish.
yeah, Aniseti,
I
go
have
ahead.
5 years of experience. I have 5 years of experience in DevOps, specialization in CI/CD pipelines with Git, Jenkins, and Maven. I'm skilled Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform, and Ansible for automation, as well as security practice with SonarQube. I also use Prometheus and Grafana for monitoring, enable efficiency and reliable DevOps in any dynamic environment. That's about myself.
Yeah, your introduction is short, very short, and it's not interesting. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, like whoever watching this video, right? Like this, I will provide a calendar for every class. So class timing will be 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Indian time. Okay, our new batch is starting from 2nd December and it will end at 12th February. Okay, we will start with Git, Jenkins, Terraform, Ansible, Docker, Kubernetes, real-time projects, and monitoring. So when class will be there, when holidays will be there, everything you will get. I will show you. This is outdated one. This is the updated one. Okay, as I said, we will start with Git. Then after we will go to Jenkins. Once Jenkins is complete, we will go to Terraform. Once Terraform is complete, we will enter into Ansible. Once Ansible is complete, we will go to Docker. Once Docker is complete, we will go to Kubernetes. Right now, Kubernetes classes is going on for our current batch. Okay, once this Kubernetes over, I will start the real-time projects for daily whoever joining in the morning. Okay, once it is completed, a new batch will start. There I will start from scratch from Git. Okay, every tool, how many days it will take? It is clearly mentioned. For Git, it will take 8 days. For Jenkins, right? First, I will show you the overview of Jenkins. Here, we will discuss Jenkins in depth. But before starting, right, before entering directly to the project, if you know the overview of Jenkins, it will be added advantage. That's the reason when we discuss Git, then after I will give some overview classes on Jenkins. There we will discuss Jenkins 4 days, and Terraform it will take 6 days to complete total Terraform, and Ansible it will take 6 days, and Docker it will take 8 days. Kubernetes also it will take 8 days, and the for DevOps project, right, it might take 6 days, and for monitoring it will take 2 days. Okay, like this, and everything whatever when the Git will start, when the classes will be going on, everything was mentioned clearly in the calendar. Okay, where is that calendar? I think it is in desktop. I will copy this, paste. Yeah, Rani, can you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Thank you for having me here. Currently, I'm working as a cloud and DevOps engineer. I have around 3 years of experience in this domain. I have proficient knowledge and experience in different DevOps tools and technologies. I use Git and GitHub as a version control system. Jenkins is a CI/CD tool, and for containerize the applications, I use Docker. And to deploy containerized applications and managing and orchestrating the containers, I use Kubernetes. For deploying it in a cloud environment, I have deployed applications in a EKS and GKE environment. Along with that, I use Grafana and Prometheus to logging and monitoring. As a security practice, I leverage the Sonar Cube and Privy to scan and uh, code quality checks. Along with that, I have also used different cloud technologies and its services such as compute services EC2, ECS, and storage services S3, EFS, and all of that. Yeah, that's all from my side. Thank you.
Yeah, it was smooth and clear. Super. I'm happy with the introduction because I've asked you suddenly. Still, you have given your best.
Sure.
Yeah, still, you definitely on practice, right? You will definitely going to increase, but whatever you have delivered, it's perfect. 80% perfect, remaining 20%, no one will be perfect, right? So definitely that you will going to learn.
Sure.
Yeah, like this, like you ever like whoever, if you have any friends, right, if they are looking for training, definitely you can refer, or anyone watching from YouTube, right, definitely you can share this video so that they will get to know when class will starts, when class will ends on every tool, right, when you will get a holiday. Okay, every content is ready, and you will get nearly 10 plus real-time projects. Okay, that's it. I will stop the recording.